On your mark, get set. Let's go.
10 after the hour, and we are off and rolling. Good morning. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. We are presented by this morning by Starbucks, as I am at Starbucks in Edinburgh, Indiana. Also, we are presented by BetUS.com. Now pitching for the Yankees, number 420, Wize El Jefe. Number 420. It's the wise man himself. Good morning, Wise. I
Good,
love you, brother. Thanks for coming on today.
good morning, brother. Good morning. How you doing?
Um, you don't seem too chipper. What's going on?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
I am good. I am good. I was just drinking my coffee.
Oh,
getting
yeah.
stuff,
That's
working on
right.
some stuff.
We coffee drinkers, we got to get that first shot in before we get
But
going.
it's actually my second cup right now.
Oh,
But
it's your second cup.
oh yeah, I've been
Yeah.
up since about 6 this morning. So yeah. Let me clip
And
this
the
off.
notes and the notes are coming in already. I can hear the sounds on my end. They don't stop, do they? Wize El Jefe, along with the Snowman joining, and I gotta find the right. I gotta find the right button here. Thought I was ready. Nope, I'm not. So, here we go. Let's bring on our next guest, shall we? Here's one half of that tandem. This is the coach. Coach Donte joins right now. What's up, Coach?
How you doing, man? How y'all doing this morning, bro?
Morning,
Hey,
coach. Morning, coach.
we're
Morning,
doing
morning.
good. We're doing good, man. We're doing good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, man. How y'all? I'm doing great.
Okay. Your thoughts on tonight's game, Giants and 49ers from Levi's.
My thoughts on tonight's game. Saquon Barkley is out tonight for the Giants, so that's going to be a huge loss for the New York Giants. For what they want to do for us, the running game going, because Saquon Barkley is the big part of that offense. He is probably the main part of the offense to get the Giants up started right, and a lot of Daniel Jones not being able to turn the ball over is because of Saquon Barkley, because when they can run the ball and because when they control time of possession. So other than that, he ain't got that person in that Saquon Barkley in the backfield. So expect to be a lot of throwing opportunities for Daniel Jones and him trying to use his legs a lot. But to me, I think the 49ers, like I say, they just on another level than the Giants. Their defense is insane. Bosa is insane. That defensive line can get to the quarterback. They can stop the run. Their secondary, probably the weakest point of the team. But other than that, that D line is getting home. That they're going to be tough to stop. The secondary is competitive. They're all competitive on the secondary. They do got Fred Warner, who's an All-Pro at the linebacker position. They do got Ofonga, who's an All-Pro at that safety position, and Shatavius Ward, who's really good, who's about a top 15 cornerback in the league last year. So they're pretty good on the defensive side of the ball, and Brock Purdy is getting better and better on reading the defense, and Christian McCaffrey is just a world beater on the passing game and the run game. Brandon Ayuk is turning into one of the brightest young stars in this game. George Kittle, we already know if you want to say he's the best tight end in the league, then won't be mad at you on that. For as blocking, catching the ball, catching the ball. I think this is the 49ers is going to win this game, man. And I think it's going to be hard for the Giants because Daniel Jones is going to be pressured all night. They're not going to have a Saquon Barkley out there in the backfield who can catch out of the backfield and who can run the ball. It may be a little tougher night for the Giants tonight.
Yeah, here's the line. It's 10.5 right now. Wise and I think it'll be closer than 10.5. Over under is 44. Our line's brought to you by BetUS.com. What do you think about this? Niners are laying 10.5 at Levi's tonight.
I think it's possible. I think it's possible they can win by 10.5, especially at their home field at Levi's. They had the first 2 games on the road, which is it was a close game against the Los Angeles Rams. I've been very impressed how the Rams actually played. They've been really playing
Absolutely.
well. They got an upcoming wide receiver who's really actually good too, man. So I've been very impressed with the Rams, how the Rams have been actually playing. But that defense for the 49ers is really, really good, man. It's really hard to score on that defense. And that defense is, it's right and it stays healthy. That's a really tough defense to score on. But I'm expecting the Giants to have a lot of trouble tonight with Saquon Barkley. Not in that backfield. That's a lot of throwing opportunities if the running game is not working for Daniel Jones. And that offensive line is really, really bad. Evan Neal has not lived up to that number 5 overall pick. He's just been getting pushed around every single game that I saw. He's just been getting manhandled in that. And that Bosa and that damn defensive line is going to be looking to just pump the Giants all night long, just like the Cowboys did. And just like the Cowboys did. And Arizona for the first half of that game did that. So it's possible they're going to win. They can win by 10.5.
Let me go up to Cool McCool. Danger is his business. What's going on, Mr. McCain? How are you, man?
What's going on, my good people? How's everybody doing today?
Man, we're doing great. Good to have you and the coach here. You're inside of the Cool and Coach Hour, second half of Snowman in the Morning on a Thursday. Let me get your quick preview of this one tonight from Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. It's an 8:15 kickoff. The time that you see is the time I will start my stream tonight. Your thoughts, your quick thoughts on the Giants and the 49ers.
It's a tough draw for the Giants, man. I mean, they had the good comeback. They kind of woke up, it feels like, in that second half last week. But, man, going against San Francisco right now, San Francisco's perceived to be the best team in the NFC right now, right? I mean, Eagles are struggling some, so no real discussion there. The Cowboys, they always have the strong start, but nobody expects them to be able to be consistent. So you look at San Francisco and say right now they're the most complete team in the NFC. But there's one thing that everybody has to remember. They play the games for a reason. We don't look at who's the best and who's not and just say, hey, the Giants are going to lose this game because San Francisco is supposed to be better. If the Giants can run the ball, if Jalen Hyatt can play well, the Giants have a solid defensive front. The Giants are going to be good on the defensive side of the ball. So they're going to make things difficult for Brock Purdy. I believe this is the best defense San Francisco has faced this season. So we're going to see a little bit more about what they can do. Do I think the Giants are going to shut San Francisco down? I am not unrealistic. I don't live in a fantasy world. But I do think the Giants do have the players and the defensive scheme where they have advantage areas. The 49ers like to run the ball. The Giants have a solid front. That's something they're going to be able to make them have to have pressure and stress a little bit out to do. They're not going to allow them to be easy. They're not going to allow them to just take off and do what they want to do. The Giants do have some questions at the corner position because they have young guys there. So that's going to be somewhere that the 49ers are going to attempt to exploit. But Wink Martindale should be wise and say, hey, I know what we're going against. Let me make some changes. Let me make sure that we have the right coverages in play to get these guys help on these dynamic 49ers receivers. So I think 49ers will win the game just because I think they'll be able to make more plays offensively. But I do think the Giants are going to show a lot of people that they're not 40-0 bad, and that when you put them up against a team and you give them a chance to scheme and you let those guys start to get a little bit of work and kind of figure out the NFL, this is not a bad team at all.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Wize and I both think it'll be. Let me give you the line here. It's the first time I had Cool on a pick. Let's do a game pick right now. Donte says it'll be over 10.5. Wize and I think to take the points. What are your thoughts? Niners are laying 10.5 at home with the over-under being 44. Your thoughts, Mr. McCain?
I would probably take the points just because one explosive play can give you 10 when you're already up 3. So I'd probably take the points. But if that line was a little bit bigger, if you gave us about 12.5, I would say nah. But I think 10.5, I think I'll take that.
Yeah. I'm taking the points here. We'll do all of our picks tomorrow, and I'll review the game and review the game tomorrow. Justin Fields. Wize and I touched on this before we started the second half. Fields says, quote, I felt like I wasn't necessarily playing my game. I felt like I was robotic and not playing like myself. My goal this week is to just say, F it and go out there and play football how I know to play football. That includes thinking less and just going out there and playing off of instincts rather than so much, say, info in my head, data in my head. Just literally going out there and playing football. Just going back to it's a game and that's it. Close quote. Uh, Fields told reporters that Wednesday. Let me start with Donte and get your thoughts so far on not only on that quote from Justin Fields, part of this article courtesy of USA Today, but he feels like he's been robotic. What are your thoughts so far on the conundrum that is Justin Fields?
Well, the word on the street that I've been knowing, I've been hearing a lot because I talk to a lot of Bears fans, and the offensive coordinator is not good. Luke Getsy is not very creative in drawing it up. And I believe that's like Justin. That's most of what Justin Field regression is coming from is Luke Getsy, him not being a creative play caller, but also you got other problems outside of Justin Fields. I'm not a big fan of Chase Claypool, aka Finding Nemo, because the last time I found him,
I'm not a fan of him either.
Yeah, the last time I saw him play, that was very good, productive. Was his rookie year in Pittsburgh. That's the last time I can see him being productive. He basically quit on plays. If you look at that game against Green Bay, he down there Mooney got put on a wrestling move, and you look at that play. Chase Claypool didn't even try to block Jair Alexander. He wanted no part of the game, so he has a history of quitting on plays, and that's something you don't need right there. Then you're also still having trouble with the offensive line. You still haven't fixed that yet outside of Darrell Wright. The defense is not really good at all. So other than that, it's a lot more problems with the Chicago Bears than going on with Justin Fields at that point. But Justin, I like what he came out and said. He got to go out there and just play football the way he knows how to play. But I just don't think the play calling and the creativity of the play calling is the right thing for Justin Fields. I think that's what he mean kind of by that a little bit, because that's the word I'm getting for the Bears community, and they hate Luke Getsy to death. So again, and then the locker room was lost. If the locker room lost early, that's on the head coach. That's on the head coach. That's a coaching problem. If the locker room is already lost and players out there quitting in the Packers game, they literally gave up and quick. And Greg Olsen said it himself. Those guys were quitting the moment Green Bay got up. So that's a coaching. That's a coaching problem right there. If the players are not ready to come out there and play, that's on Matt Eberflus. But the Luke Getsy is not being a creative play caller. Why would you call a screen at the goal line? When you're backed up, you literally tried to call a screen in the middle of the scene at your own 5-yard line. I don't understand that, but Justin Fields just needs to go out there and play football how he knows how to play it. But other than that, it's things way beyond Justin Fields what's going on with the Chicago Bears.
Jody and I talked about this after that Bears debacle against the Packers, and Cole Johnson has joined us. Good morning to you, sir. And you brought this to me, and I want to bring it back to you. Mm-hmm. And I want to give Cole. I'm going to do something. I want to give Cole the floor, and I'll read this. I'll read this quote again. And let me thank you, Cole, for sending this to me. Justin Fields tells reporters Wednesday, quote, I felt like I wasn't necessarily playing my game. I felt like I was robotic and not playing like myself. My goal this week is to just say F it and go out there and play football how I know to play football. That includes thinking less and just going out there and playing off of instincts rather than so much, say, info in my head, data in my head. Just literally going out there and playing football, just going back to it's a game and that's it, close quote. My thoughts are these. The Bears may have gotten who they thought was a quarterback of the future, but they didn't secure him with an offensive line. It's like Victor said and continues to say, and it's so true. In front of Justin Fields are 5 300-pound mannequins acting as turnstiles. If week 1 against the Packers didn't show you anything, if week 2 against the Buccaneers don't show you anything, then I don't know what other proof to provide. This is a problem. This has been a problem. And You know what? I don't even count the 2006 Super Bowl year. This has been a problem since the 80s for the Bears after their legendary offensive line broke up. And they did not. And you know what? They had Jim McMahon, of course. We all know what happened to him. But they had a former Detroit Lion quarterback who was ready to set some records by the name of Eric Kramer. And they ruined him. Why? No. Not why. How? They didn't protect him. Go back and look at that 1995 season when Eric Kramer played for the Chicago Bears. Where's the protection in front of him? And you saw his play go down further and further and further. And remember, Kramer was 4 years removed from participating in an NFC championship game. In an NFC championship game while he was with the Detroit Lions, and that, of course, came against the Washington Redskins. So Justin Fields is in a long line of Bears quarterbacks who have been failed, who have been ruined, who have been destroyed by the cheapness of the McCaskies, by the stupidity of the line of coaches, Dick Duran included. And now I still don't know what the hell an Eberflus is, or what kind of offense an Eberflus is running. I don't even know I don't even want to know what the hell an Eberflus is. Cole, take the floor. The floor is yours.
Look, all I know is this. You felt the need to draft a player that's supposed to be your future, and the pieces around him, and I'm not just talking about on the field, off the field, it's not indicative of helping this young man out. Now, you should have seen him in Ohio State and realized, okay, well, this might be a bit of a project here because he might not be the finished product coming out of Columbus. However, you thought, okay, everything is fine because he was tearing it up at Ohio State. He should be able to tear it up here, especially now with these hybrid quarterbacks that are now becoming in vogue. But you're not helping the young man out. Starting with the 300-pound mannequins that are acting as turnstiles every single chance they get.
Amen to that.
You spread it to the running backs where you had a good one and you let him go. And now you're scratching your head as to who is going to be behind him. And then you all think that everything is all gravy with DJ Moore on one side and Chase Claypool on the other.
I'm sorry, who? Who was that first receiver?
DJ Moore on one side, Chase Claypool on the other side. Those are the two dynamic wide receivers he has to throw to. He basically has to go to Cole Kmet in order to have actually some semblance of a pass catcher. That is how horrendous your organization is. The defense, unfortunately, they're just as bad off as Fields is because they're put behind the A-ball before they set foot on the field too.
Yep.
So now you have a rabid fan base that's looking at a horrendous organization. And now, from the top on down, and yes, I've had the feels for Bears fan simply because I understand how can I put this? How you can have crap at the top and it just runs downhill. I mean, it literally looks like Virginia McCaskey could give two craps about how the Bears roll. And I'm thinking, well, if that's the case, sell your investment. Sell it to somebody who actually will care about the team. Meanwhile, you're going to actually, with your apathy, have it seep down everywhere else. And that's what we're seeing. And it's unfortunate because Mr. Fields is the face of the team, and he's about to have the same apathy worn on him because the crap is rolled now down to him as you have exercised, and so aptly you said, partner, ever since Charles Martin decided to bear hug Jim McMahon and body slam him face first, or I should say head first, into the Soldier Field turf. And we're talking now 37 years. As an organization, Bears, you should be ashamed of yourself. And now you have put a quarterback in position to be destroyed. And I don't mean this in a metaphoric way. I mean this in a real way. You will probably get this young man injured and out of the sport because of how little you care about the people you draft. Shame on you, Bears.
Let me have this back for a moment. When Charles Martin body slammed Jim McMahon to the turf in a game against Green Bay in 1986, which basically destroyed any Bears chances of A, creating a dynasty, and B, any quarterback playing for the Bears again, I outlined Jim McMahon. I also outlined Eric Kramer, because Eric Kramer came the closest to throwing for 4,000 yards. You realize the Bears are the
He
only
was a pretty
team
good
in the
quarterback.
NFL that does not have a 4,000-yard passer. The two closest quarterbacks that have come to throwing for 4,000 yards, Jim Harbaugh and Eric Kramer. Not even Jay Cutler. And you know, they sure as hell didn't protect him. They sure as hell didn't protect him. And yet, Jay Cutler is the Bears' all-time leading passer. What does that say about your organization? Okay, the Oilers had Warren Moon. The 49ers had Montana and later Steve Young. The Cardinals had Neil Lomax. The Redskins had Joe Theismann. I can name quarterbacks from every other team in the NFL that has had at least one 4,000-yard passer. And the Bears have none. None. And then earlier in this preseason, as my partner has outlined to me, everybody was so high on hell, they were high on Justin Fields when they drafted
him.
They were high on Justin Fields, and they moved up 10 spots to get him, by the way. You could have kept that draft capital, okay, and used it for, I don't know, maybe an offensive line, perhaps, maybe a number one wide receiver, but you mortgaged your future. You're taking the Rams blueprint. You're taking the Rams blueprint. You mortgaged your future for DJ Moore. Let that sink in, Bears fans. Your team mortgaged your future, and there's some stud receivers coming out in the draft this coming year for DJ Moore. What the hell is wrong with this picture? And now you have a quarterback who will not be allowed to play quarterback, who will not be allowed to be himself, who has to think opposite of what your so-called offensive coordinator wants to incorporate, because you won't let him be himself, you won't let him play, and the most important thing of all, you will not protect him. I offer the case of Steve Young, who was getting run over, beat up, beat inside out in Tampa Bay. Then Bill Walsh plucked him, put him behind an offensive line that actually knew how to protect him. Steve Young learned how to play the quarterback position, which unfortunately Justin Fields won't, because he's running for his life. And everybody in Chicago is liking the fact that he set a record for rushing yards by a quarterback with a 1,000-yard season. Let this sink in, Bears fans. Your quarterback is supposed to play quarterback. He's the point guard of the offense. He's supposed to put the rest of the players in a position to win. And unfortunately, since 1986, you have not had that. And you won't have that either until the top of the organization decides to move on. And as David Kaplan said best in a program that I miss hearing, and that he has said to me personally, get some football people in here. Fix this doggone thing. Mr. McCain, you're next.
So I want to start by correcting one of Snowman's statements. So they didn't mortgage their future for DJ Moore. They actually got a first-round pick from the Panthers back as well. So they have the Panthers' first-round pick this year. And the way they're looking, that's going to be a good pick. But from what I'm seeing from Chicago, that's not going to be good, because they're not going to make the right choice. So I'm going to go all the way back.
Which is why I said what I said.
I'm going to go all the way back to the draft. You know whose fault it is that Justin Fields is in the situation he is? It is the San Francisco 49ers for making the wrong pick and drafting Trey Young. Had you brought in Justin Fields,
Lance.
that you should have, yeah, I said, excuse me, Trey Lance. If you had brought in the guy you should have, which is Justin Fields, then we would not have this discussion because Trey Lance would have been, Justin Fields would have been allowed to be himself more in a more free flowing offense. So, San Francisco 49ers fans, you went out, you bet on the wrong guy. He didn't work out. You had to get rid of him. You know Justin Fields was a better quarterback. You should have went with Justin Fields. So shame on you first. All right. Now we're gonna move on to the Chicago Bears. You draft Justin Fields. You move up. You get the quarterback. Cool. You know the kind of quarterback that he is. You know what you're gonna need to do. You're gonna have to help him. You're gonna have to develop him. You're gonna have someone to teach him. He needs a mentor as his backup that can help him make the transition to the NFL. He's never had that. But we're not going to sit here and put all the blame on the organization and Matt Eberflus and the offense coordinator and all those things. We're also going to take a nice part of that blame. We're going to walk it over to Justin Fields. We're going to place it squarely on top of his head while the putrid diarrhea from the organization falls down on them all, as Cole so eloquently said. Justin Fields needs to work on understanding you're an NFL quarterback now. So since you are an NFL quarterback, number one, you don't get in a press conference and say, they're not letting me play the way I want to play. So that's why I'm not playing well. And that's why we're losing, because I don't want to adjust and learn anything different. I have to be able to just go out there and play playground football. But if I can't do that, then I can't be successful. So they're stopping me from being a good quarterback. If I ever see another, that's how he looked to me. That's how he sounded to me. I don't know if that's how he said it, but that's how he said it to me when I heard it. Right, I listened to it 3 times. That's what I heard all 3
Facts.
times.
Facts. Facts.
Fact.
Facts. Facts.
So I'm just saying, like, Justin Fields, this is ultimately on you because there's this thing called your rookie contract, right? You're already into that.
2 years in.
You're right. So once that's over, you get better, you develop yourself. You have the opportunity to say, I don't want to be here, right? And then if they say, oh, we're just gonna do that 5th-year option for you, cool. Anytime I get a finger hurt, my legs get sore, my knee hurts a little bit, I can't play because I'm injured. Because that's what the running backs are going to start doing. But I'm going to tell
McCain,
you. Yes, sir.
Are you saying that he should he should go to the Lamar Jackson playbook of how to negotiate?
Yes, I am saying so.
Yes. Yes.
If he gets to that,
that's what I thought.
They
that's
won't
what I
allow
thought.
him go. Yes, that's what I'm saying. But my biggest concern is, I told people, including one Brian Snow here on this particular program, that DJ Moore was not a number 1 receiver.
Sure.
Brian Snow did not agree with me. But guess what?
What?
Now you see for yourself.
That's wrong. I did agree with you on that statement. I did agree with you because in watching DJ Moore in Carolina, I knew he was a 2. Hell, for me, he's not even a 3. So I got
he's a 2, but he's a 2 without a 1. So what you have is we have a 2 without a 1.
Yeah, he's a 2 without a 1.
He's not good.
True. Yep.
Because you take a number 2 receiver, you put your best cornerback on him, he's no show.
He's done.
And that's what's happening. Yeah. So okay, fine, Snowman. If you want to say you didn't say it, I don't believe it. I believe you liked it.
Really?
Whatever. Yeah. I'm not gonna go pull up the receipts, whatever. If that's what you say. But I will say this.
Skip you, Cole.
I will say this, and this will be my last thought. Chicago Bears, you have a history of being very bad. Yeah, you do. Right. But also, Justin Fields, if you want a career in Chicago or somewhere else, you're going to have to start doing what a lot of these dual threat quarterbacks have done. Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Randall Cunningham back in the day, Steve Young, the whole list, the gamut of them. You're going to have to develop the ability to say, okay, they want me to run an offense where I am reading more of the defense, where I'm doing more than I'm comfortable with now. Let me start putting in more time at the facility to learn how to do that instead of whining to the media that they're trying to make me actually be an NFL quarterback. So that part is on you. This is an organizational thing. You shouldn't be going through this in your 2nd year in the league, granted, but you still should not be whining to the public. You should be talking with that to your coaches, and you should be developing yourself. You should be getting you a quarterback guru to work with, people to help you learn the things you need to learn. But instead, what are you doing? You're going to the media and saying, I just want them to let me go out there and play playground football and get beat up and hit and hurt because that makes me happy. Stop your capping.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Cool. I was late.
No
But
problem.
I beg to differ, sir. I actually want Mr. Fields to do just that. I want him to be at the press conference and say, I can't play the way that I really want to play. The organization is forcing me to read the playbook that is a Harry Potter novel thick size. I can't read all that stuff. I need to have something that is a paper that's a one-sheeter. You know, like the offense coordinator has. I can manage that. I can't manage this Harry Potter novel. That's more theater.
Is that how he sounds to you?
You ain't got a lick of sense, man.
Oh my God!
You
I
ain't
love
got
how
it.
he sounds to Cool and how he sounds to
My
you.
part-
Oh
My
my!
partner
he said
Cole
Harry
comes
Potter
in,
novel.
and this crew. He said a Harry Potter novel, and my wife loves Harry Potter. You ain't got a lick of sense, man.
But you know
Alright.
that's how. But you know how all these
It's
QBs
true.
think. They think
Yeah.
they think
Yeah.
NFL playbooks are that thick.
Kyler Murray, anyone?
Thank you.
I'm a little late
Kyler
here with
Murray.
this.
Wait a minute. Kyler Murray, an NFL quarterback?
I got one.
No,
thing I
but
forgot to
but
say,
no, but
y'all.
seriously, I agree. Go cool.
What's up, Vicola?
Like a
I
lot.
Carry on.
No, but seriously,
Why did I pull that?
I agree.
Why did I pull that clip up last night, Cole? With you going, you gonna see the Lions screen. You see the white lady with the Victor Law. And Jody heard that, flipped over and says, "That's where that came from." You fool! Give me this camera. Yes, LeBron, it is you. It's always been you. It always will be you. Forever and ever. Amen.
Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. We're joined by Cool and the Coach for Cool and Coach Hour every Thursday, and we're also joined by Wize El Jefe. The bit that you just heard or just seen is now the new intro for One Snowman.
Give me this.
You just got a lot of time in your hand, man. Like this, the stuff. Like you've been coming up with some fire stuff lately, man.
You know
thank
what?
You
know what?
Not even, like I did the first time. Today was the first time I saw
my
the intro
gosh.
that you did.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm looking at it. I'm like,
I swear Cole has an evil twin that creeps into his head and say, you could use this for Chris Base, you could use this for Chris Base. I must have played that on loop for 10 minutes. That baseline commercial.
The baseline commercial? Mm-hmm.
I played that on loop for 10 minutes while I was editing yesterday when I got home. And Jody walks by just as the placenta clip was playing.
And I'm sorry. Before you continue, thank you.
Personal favorite.
Thank you, sir. Because it was his story that led to that soundbite from Chris Base.
I mean, like I said, Jody walks by just as she sees the placenta clip.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, back that up and play it again. So I played it again.
God, back that up. Uh-oh.
She said,
Uh-huh.
no, Jody said, back it up. Okay. She said, back that up. She says, back that up and play it again.
We need to cut. We need to cut fandom music right now, Cole.
Man, you know what? You know what? I'm waiting to see what Cole comes up with for Donte's intro. Because I know that one's gonna be off the charts. Because all we gotta do, I won't even mention it here because he'll go off the charts now. But I played it again, and Jody just looked at me and said, "Placenta," and I said, "Baby, this is not one of mine." And she
Oh
said,
my gosh.
she says, "Who came up with it?" I said, "Watch the rest of it." And she saw Chris Bass's picture, and she goes, "I should have known. I'm going to bed." And she peeled out and went to bed.
John is wild, yo.
Listen.
John is wild.
Listen. Oh, hell no.
Hey, Brian. There's a quarterback available out there. Johnny Manziel. Why doesn't the Bears hire him? He won no parts of the football field.
Nah, he don't want that smoke. He definitely don't want none of that fire.
How do I describe Johnny Manziel? Booty! There you
Oh,
go.
Lord.
That's original. I like that. I like that.
Thank you. Yeah, and cool. I admit with the Snowman intro, my favorite part is the give it his camera line.
Bro, I saw that. Man, I almost needed an oxygen mask. Bro. Hard.
I do need an oxygen mask.
He said,
Now I'm gonna have it on loop in my car. I'm gonna have it on loop in my car when I drive. That whole I mean this playfully. I mean this playfully. Cole, I love you, but I hate you for that intro. No, I can't get it out of my head. Doggone it.
John is wild, bro.
John is being stupid, and I love it. Us Browns fans to trade you to Deshaun Watson. Listen, you ain't trading Deshaun Watson to the 49ers.
Lord.
That's my team. Okay, we got our guy. And cool, you're absolutely correct. We had no business drafting Trey Lance. None.
Yep.
Absolutely none. We listened to the
Justin
peer
Fields
pressure,
was sitting right
and
there.
it cost us 3 years.
But
So-
there was no pressure. Nobody thought he wasn't even.
He
shouldn't
wasn't
even been
ready.
a first round pick. In my opinion, he shouldn't even been a first round pick.
Mm-mm.
So
Zach
so
Wilson
John,
had been drafted over Trey Lance. I mean, over Justin Fields either.
So John, you're basically saying that you're willing to give up the guy who's like, yeah, come on, baby, yeah, come on, sit down, yeah, throw me that towel. There you go, baby. Yeah, just sit down. There you go. Yeah, you look good. You look good.
You need help, man. You need help.
Don't
You need serious
move.
help.
Don't move. Don't move, girl. Don't.
We agreed to this extra 5,000, so we good.
Oh my
We're good.
God.
Was that good for you, baby? Because that was something good for me.
I'm eating you, asshole.
Oh my
Let me-
God.
You want to
you
get
know what?
rid of him? You want to get rid of him, John? No, man.
You know what, y'all? We about to hit the train track. So before we hit the train tracks, we gotta talk college football, don't we?
Man,
Yes.
hit the train tracks anyway.
'Cause we right there at the train tracks. We so close.
Hit the train tracks anyway. All right. Well,
Hit him anyway. You fool! Give me this, give me this, give me this, give me this, give me this camera. Yes, LeBron, it is you. It's always been you. It always will be you. Forever and ever. Amen. Happier.
There is no better interest than that for Brian Snow. There is no better interest.
thank you, sir.
That is not
Thank you.
Brian Snow in a nutshell.
I've said this about Cole for the 7
Thank
and a
you,
half
Cole.
years we've been friends. You ain't got a lick of sense, man.
Look at sense. Thank you, cool.
But-
Thank you, Brian.
But
Thank
but
you, Wise. I'm glad you enjoyed that too, man.
I will add this for that intro. Pardon me
Mm.
while I stand up and applaud.
Thank you, sir.
I
Thank you,
almost
sir.
choked on that. Give me this camera repeat.
That was great.
And the best part, you did it in the font that represents my team.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How long did it take you to cut that particular piece? That give me this camera. How long did it take you to edit that?
That would took from concept to actually having it all set probably about half hour.
And then the music bit from Shaft, of course. Sick Dicky gave that introduction.
Yes.
After I came out of surgery last year.
Right. So of course it's a nod to that intro, right?
Yes. Yes. What else? What can't he do? Because all I gotta do is play that.
I'll tell you what he can't do. He can't keep us on track. That's what he can't do.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Well, my
in
man,
2 days, okay, fine.
hey,
So
Cole,
2 days from now,
I take
No,
that
you
as
told.
shots fired.
oh, that's a
not on you,
big.
Cole.
I do.
I know. I
No,
know
you
it's not on. I know it's not on me. I know who that's on. But since that's not happening, cool is correct.
You fool!
So in the college slate, which is normally doesn't happen, you have 7 ranked games. Or 7 games between ranked teams being played on the gridiron Saturday.
But only one matters.
In terms of the media, only one really does matter. Now, what the funny thing is, the game that really does not matter to the media is Ohio State versus Notre Dame, because I've heard very little in that conversation about that game. Very little.
And these are 2 top 10 teams. Ohio State at 6, Notre Dame at 9.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in front of Touchdown Jesus. It's on NBC.
Mm-hmm.
Is Mike calling that? Mike Tirico?
There's no
Is
story.
Tirico want to call for that game?
I'm thinking so. Didn't he call Notre Dame games?
Well, there are a couple times someone else that called Notre Dame game.
Okay. All right.
But I think Tirico's on the call for that. Live research coming.
It's just
No one's talking about Ohio State or Notre Dame.
there's no storyline.
True. I mean,
It's
yeah,
like
he's serious. He's serious. Both teams are like, You do have a good point, Cool.
True.
You got
What is impressive about either one of those 2 teams? What is impressive?
Really?
Nothing.
What is the most impressive thing?
Really nothing. Yeah,
Nothing.
Wise actually said it.
Go.
Nothing. Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Really?
there's
It's
nothing
more-
that stands out about either one of these 2 teams, and yet it's a primetime game. Can't we schedule this
You know
for
what?
noon?
You just said something. You said a key word right now. Prime time.
Oh, you know
that's
what?
the focus. Prime time. Forget the time. Just think about prime. That's what people will care about right now.
As I said.
That's the only thing that's on people's mind.
As I said, the media and actually fans only care about one of those 7, and that is the game in Eugene between Colorado and Oregon. And I had
you know who's calling that
Who?
Notre Dame game?
Oh,
Noah Eagle, and
oh,
I just saw it. Noah Eagle
Oh,
and Todd Blackledge.
okay,
Iron's baby boy is
Iron
calling
Son.
that-
Okay,
Yep, the
okay,
voice of the
Iron
Clippers.
Son's calling it.
Radio voice of the
Okay.
Los Angeles Clippers will have that call. But in terms of media hype, the only game
It
that
is
matters
not
is
even
in
close.
Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah, but this is what I find really ironic about John. This is what I find really ironic about it.
Mhm.
In the past, even in the recent past, if you have 2 top 10 teams playing against each other,
Right?
conversation stops everywhere else.
Yeah.
And this is one of those rare times where you have the marquee matchup not be a team. One is ranked 6 and the other's ranked 9. It is one of the darndest things I have seen. And it actually shows how big of an impact Coach Prime actually has.
Well,
But
he's
let
going
other
to get
people-
the test
let
of his
other people
life
tell
come
you-
Saturday.
Let other people tell you it's not Coach Prime. Let other people tell you that he's a fraud. That what he does, what he says is all show. What he says, it doesn't mean it. Listen, we there's people that need to get put on blast, but we'll save that for mentality.
There's some people that need to get punched in the face.
Yes, because I know of one person my partner is referencing.
Yes, he's a fat
We'll get
hypocrite, but we just not gonna talk about him right now.
That's what I was thinking about too.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Applause to you, Wize. Can we get that mentality commercial?
Oh
Can we get
my
that
gosh.
mentality commercial, please?
All right.
Especially the end of it where you zoomed in on him. I won't say his name, but when you zoomed in on him.
Sure thing. Okay. No problem. Where's it?
I won't say his name, but
I'm proud of you.
Coach Prime is not a fraud.
No,
Okay.
Coach
Prime is nowhere near a fraud.
He's many things. Fraud is not one of them.
Yeah. Confident is one. A leader is another. A hell of a coach is another. And you know what?
Inspiring is another.
You know what I find interesting? You know what I find interesting? I'm gonna say his name, so y'all gonna have to forgive me. Jason Fatless wants to dismiss
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Oh my goodness. I've never known a man that hates another so hard and so much.
Yeah,
I don't. I'm gonna clarify this. I don't hate Jason Fatless, Witless, whatever we call him. Right? He's just, to me, because in the clips that we've seen, he's used religion, he's used other stuff to try to make Deion look like a villain. Because he's doing something that this fat, greasy, nasty,
give him the camera. Give him the camera. Cole, give him the camera.
This
give him the
piece
camera.
of crap try to say he's a Christian and yet he's a hypocrite.
Big one.
Like, I'm not a religious person. I'm not gonna claim I'm a Christian, any of that. But I believe Christians, one of the things is to forgive and not judge and all this. But this
agreed.
Greasy, Lord, oh my God, I'm trying to maintain myself right now. But
a person that he actually doesn't hate. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't hate him because that's too much. I don't want to waste that type of energy. Do I dislike him?
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
To me, he doesn't. He is lower than pond scum.
Okay.
There's nothing this dude can say.
Lower than pond scum.
Because he's upset because Deion is making these boys into men.
Right before our very eyes.
Is criticize and put down another black man,
or put down
to
men,
appease others, to appease these other coaches that don't agree with what Deion is doing. Well, Deion is changing the game. Deion is here to make an impact. Deion knows his purpose. So for someone like Fatless, Witless, Crapless, whatever, to come out his face, what have you done to empower young men? What have you done to uplift these young men? Nothing. But go on Fox and be proud, MAGA. Go ahead. I'm telling y'all, MAGA, come and get this fat shit. Come get him.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Woo!
And this is and my part and my mentality brother says that he does not hate Jason Whitlock.
Why the f you lying? Why you always lying?
Your nickname for him is Jason Fatless Witless.
Yeah.
He is witless.
But see, I don't claim to be a Christian.
Oh, I know. I know.
So I talk smack about it. I don't matter. Like, that's just my opinion.
Right.
True.
Right.
Like, this
Right.
man
Absolutely.
claims to be a Christian,
Absolutely.
and he is a hypocrite. That's my problem. I'm not a hypocrite. I'm gonna say what I what's on my mind, how I feel, whatever. But
Same.
you're claiming to be a Christian, and yet you're acting unlike a Christian.
So tune in, ladies and gentlemen, to the next edition in installment of Mentality, because you will get to see Bizarre Wize in all of his glory.
We just
Go
saw
to
it.
town on Jason Whitlock yet again. Oh yeah, you believe me, you did see a little bit of it, but you're gonna see it in full display. Where I'm going to just sit back and allow him to eviscerate old Mr. Whitlock yet again.
Cole, you realize
Sir.
when I get home this afternoon, I'm cutting the daylights out of those 180 seconds.
I know you are.
I'm cutting the daylights out of those 180 seconds.
There's been times I've actually tried to not.
And I'm
There-
not
there's-
editing a doggone thing. I'm letting this roll.
There's been times I've actually tried not to put Jason Whitlock on the docket because I know Wize would go in on him. But but there's times when I don't, it's like, man, I gotta talk about him. I'm like, all right, cool.
Well, he gets a set. He gets a because I end up seeing something that's
Mhm.
just like, yo, is this
This is
dude
ridiculous.
at it again?
So, well, let's close with this, and I want to light up the chat here. Jason Witless is to Wize.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Wentz is to Cool McCain.
Oh gosh, yes.
I hate to say this next name, but I gotta highlight it for Coach Donte, which of course would be Joel Embiid.
Yeah, well, I'd say it could be a toss between him and Davis Mills.
That did it right there. That one did it. That one did it.
Davis Mills. Davis Mills.
We found his.
I changed that. It's Davis Mills. It's Davis Mills. Who is that for you, Mr. Johnson, my dear friend? Who is that for you?
Yeah, man.
Who is that one
Do
person?
that, man. Come on, man.
Wait. Who is that, Nicole? Who is that one person for you that would make you just do what Donte just did and walk off?
I would think it would probably
gosh.
be Adam's family.
Maybe. Probably be either.
Adam, yep, Bud Adams.
Probably the Bud Adams family.
Yep.
I think they're the closest that makes me want to just say, "You all suck." Either them or the McNair family, the ones who own the Texans. I'm almost this close to supplanting the Adams family with the McNair family. But every time I try to nudge the McNair family over them, I still remember Bud throwing a big old FU to Houston, shaking the Nationals mayor's hand in 1995 and moving the Oilers out of Houston.
Hey,
Then I'm reminded of it.
I gotta get this on part too, though.
Victor,
Go ahead, Coach.
Who is that person? Victor, who is that person for you? And John, who is that person for you? Go ahead, Coach. We got about a minute left.
Okay, Brock Osweiler is the worst
Oh,
I've ever seen in my entire life. He is
my
the
God.
worst.
that was terrible. He was terrible.
I ever seen.
How did Brock Osweiler get a contract?
Because of
terrible.
Rick Smith was the reason why he got the contract. We were so desperate for a quarterback at that time that Brian threw that game against the Kansas City Chiefs when he had that 4 interception game. We were so desperate to get and what's so bad about it, Bill O'Brien didn't even like Brock Osweiler. He didn't even want Brock Osweiler, but Brock Osweiler, I hate that dude. I despise that dude. He was literally throwing out playoff hopes that game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. But you know what had to come in and save the goddamn game for us to make the playoffs? Tom goddamn Savage. How worse could he got? How worse could he got? He gets up out of the game. He has a concussion. Now I got to deal with Brock Osweiler coming back in, playing Tennessee. We lose that game. Then we play the Las Vegas. We played the Raiders. We end up winning that game only because of Derek Carr had a broken leg that MVP season. But how worse could it get when I had to sit up there and watch what Brock Osweiler did and steal money from State Farm commercials and stuff like that? And get $73 million just to go out there and do nothing, just to hit an equipment manager upside the head with a football. How worse that had to be. Now that's the one quarterback I hate and I despise the most is that dude right there.
I'm gonna have to have Coach Donte on my afternoon show one day and just turn all the editing off and just let him go completely ham. And we got to get out of here. Have a great day.
Colorado is going to beat Oregon. Colorado's going to beat Oregon.
Oregon's going to hang 50. Oregon 55, Colorado 51, and it won't require overtime. God bless y'all. We're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow.